please raise your hand. But Maria, please, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for the UN Human Rights Office for the opportunity to bring to the High Commissioner's attention the situation of impunity regarding police violence and racism in Puerto Rico, a colony of the United States with 3.5 million population, a country with a unique Caribbean culture where the language spoken is Spanish, and where a great part of our population is brown and Afro-Caribbean. In the last 5 years, due to extreme austerity measures imposed by the US Congress, Promesa Law, and also after experiencing consecutive crises after hurricanes, a series of earthquakes, and more recently, the COVID pandemic, the situation of impunity of state violence has become even more precarious. Of at least 23 people that the police in Puerto Rico have killed since 2019, 14 of them did not carry firearms. 3 of them were going through mental health crisis at the moment of their killing. 11 were 25 years or younger. And all of them belong to impoverished or vulnerable communities, and poverty in our country is inextricably linked with brown and Afro-Caribbean ancestry. So not even one of these officers have been presented with criminal charges, and neither has been expelled or even suspended from the police bureau. Contrary to the United States, in Puerto Rico, there are no external independent entities that supervise or investigate excessive actions of the police. The police investigates itself. And people must complain against police officers in the police bureau, which of course does not offer a reliable, fair, neutral process. The Civil Rights Division at the Department of Justice has been dismantled in the last decade, and there is no specialized prosecution divisions to investigate cases of officer-involved killings or excessive use of force. First-line district prosecutors usually investigate these cases, and oftentimes families of people killed by police tell us that prosecutors act as if they were the officers' defense attorneys. Civil judicial claims against the limited with the approval of the Promesa bill, even being suspended for a time period, as this bill protects the state against plaintiffs who seek financial compensation. Potential civil rights violation plaintiffs in Puerto Rico must also comply with a 90-day term notification of claim, which has proven exhausting and very hard to comply with for victims of police violence who usually have not yet consulted even with a lawyer 90 days after their traumatic incidents. These and other restrictions that I can't mention today have disincentivized most private lawyers from even pursuing these cases. On the other hand, the extreme austerity measures have reduced and even eliminated access to justice or pro bono law projects destined for impoverished communities. We at Km0 experience every day the hardships, the frustrations, the impotence that victims of police abuse or the families of those killed by police officers encounter in order to seek answers, reparations, and a minimum promise of systemic change. So as we all watch the police response to George Floyd's protest in the United States last year, we Puerto Ricans definitely related, because that's how violent the police normally acts every time we have mass protests. Even children and elderly are tear gassed, people are fired, rubber-coated metal bullets from shotguns at close range. They are hit with clubs. Students are massively arrested without cause, put in unmarked cars, threatened to death by police officers, and no disciplinary actions are taken against these agents, absolutely none. So we ask that Puerto Rico be included when the High Commissioner visits the United States, that we have neither representation in the US Congress that holds political power over us, and nor do we have sovereign representation in international forums. So state violence victims in Puerto Rico are in a dehumanizing, unsustainable situation with no real options or reparations under the political rule of a country that takes such great pride of its democratic values. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this important voice from Puerto Rico.